I solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And if I am found to be lying, I accept prosecution under the full extent of the sports law. What up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Yeah, you know what time it is. Sports in order. I got my twin bro with me today. You know, Odell. He's thirsty. He wants us, I got my Giants mug for him. He's a little thirsty. Got some coffee for him. But yeah, I'm rocking with Odell today. So, if you guys have something to say to me, make sure you say it to Odell. But yeah, I'm going to get right to it today. But remember, subscribe to the World of Sports Network. So we got the YouTube channel, the Facebook page. It don't matter. You see it all. Just make sure you subscribe to the World of Sports Network channel. Sports Snore you can find on Facebook, the World of Sports Network Facebook page. We're working full steam ahead, baby. It's almost week one, about a week away from week one. We got it, baby. It's almost time, baby. But let's go. On today's episode of Sports in Order, I'm going to give you a 12-team PPR 2-round mock draft. So it's going to go, I'm going to tell you picks 1 through 12. And if you guys that aren't familiar with how a fantasy draft works, it goes in reverse. So if you have the 12th pick, you'll also have the 13th pick. If you have the first pick, you'll have the last pick. So that's really what's going to happen. Let me adjust my camera real quick for you guys. Make sure it's all good. All right. So yeah, 12-team PPR 2-round mock draft. Let's get right to it. First pick. It might surprise you guys a little bit, but I'm going with Todd Gurley with the first pick. Now, I'm going with Todd Gurley because the Rams' offense is built around him. Last year, and the plus for him is he catches the ball. Last year he was second on the Rams in receptions. And now after seeing the type of receiver that he is, I think Sean McVay is going to create more plays that get Todd Gurley catches and allow him to get out in space and make a play. So again, last year he was second on the team in receptions. You can make an argument that it's a strong possibility that Todd Gurley will lead the Rams in receptions this year from the running back position. It's crazy to see an offense built literally only around the running back. Yes, you have, Goff and the weapons at the receiver position, but without Todd Gurley, this Rams offense is not functionable. So with that type of opportunity and that type of volume and the amount of receptions that Todd Gurley is going to get, for me, it's a no-brainer. He's going first overall. Number 2, I'm going to go with Zeke. I like Zeke for the volume. I think in terms of carries and catches, I think we could see Zeke get, 30 touches a game, 30 total touches a game. Probably, 25 carries a game, 4 or 5 catches a game. Obviously, the offensive line is dominant, best run blocking offensive line in football. They lost a lot of weapons in the receiving game, and so I don't think that the Cowboys, even if they wanted to, had the weapons to be a pass first team. It's a run first team. The Cowboys are going to run. Again, with that type of volume, you can't go wrong with picking Zeke at, a second overall. Third overall, we're going David Johnson. You guys are probably asking, where's Le'Veon Bell? Relax, we'll get to him. Third overall, I'm going David Johnson. 2016, David Johnson had 20 total touchdowns. Almost had 1,000 yards receiving from the running back position. I think this year, David Johnson is going to have both 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. David Johnson, he's so good. You can make a case for him being a wide receiver. He's built, he runs routes like a wide receiver, catches everything. And now they're going to either have a rookie quarterback or an injury-prone quarterback that is just going to dump it off to the running back, David Johnson. The rookie quarterback, obviously Josh Rosen. The injury-prone quarterback is Sam Bradford. Last year, and in Sam Bradford's entire history of being a quarterback, he likes dumping it off to the running back. So David Johnson could really get 80 catches, maybe 90 catches, and 1,000 yards receiving. And he's a running back. So he's going to get the carries as well. David Johnson, third overall. Not a bad pick at all. Fourth overall, we're going Le'Veon. Here's where we get Le'Veon. Now, yeah, this is technically a steal. Le'Veon's probably the best running back in football. But with Le'Veon holding out again and not sure if he's going to be in shape by week 1, I don't think you could pick him in a top 3 pick. And again, you don't even know how many carries he's going to get week 1. You don't even know if he's going to be involved as much as he should be in week 1. You don't even know when he's going to be involved fully, when he's going to be back to being the Le'Veon Bell for fantasy owners and for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, with that, man, I'm not taking him with any of those. Here's the thing. I'm not taking him over Todd Gurley, Zeke, David Johnson, because you know what those 3 guys, their role is going to be. You know what Todd Gurley's role is, obviously, with the Rams offense. You know what Zeke's role is with the Cowboys offense. And you know David Johnson, the type of running back and receiver that he is, and where he fits with that Cardinals offense. With Le'Veon Bell, he hasn't played all preseason. He hasn't been in training camp, hasn't been with the team. You don't know what his role is going to be and if it's ever going to be the same role that he's used to. So, again, I'm staying away with him. But if you get him at 4th, that's a steal, man, because obviously Le'Veon Bell can finish as the best and number 1 overall running back in fantasy. So if you get him at 4, be happy. But I wouldn't pick Le'Veon with a top 3 pick. I wouldn't personally. 5th overall, we're going to stay with the Steelers. We're going AB. Best wide receiver in football, no doubt about it. 100 receptions, 1,500 receiving yards. That's what you're getting with AB. Every year is consistent. And probably about 8 to 10 touchdowns. He's so consistent. He's Ben's number one target, obviously, in the passing game. He is the Steelers' passing game, him and Le'Veon Bell. But from a receiver position, you can't go wrong with AB. You cannot. 5th overall for the best receiver in football, who's guaranteed to get you 100 receptions in a PPR league. Ben just throws the ball up to him, double team, triple team. And his route running is so good that it doesn't matter if you double team him because he's still going to get open. So I like Antonio Brown at 5th overall. 6th overall, we're going Alvin Kamara. It's his backfield now. I mean, yes, Mark Ingram is suspended for the first 4 games, but even last year, Mark Ingram's role was starting to slowly diminish, and the Saints' backfield was starting to favor towards Alvin Kamara. And now he has the ability in the first 4 games to completely solidify that Saints' backfield with Mark Ingram being suspended for the first 4 games. And now Sean Payton had a full offseason to create and scheme more plays for Alvin Kamara. Last year, you could argue that, Sean Payton really didn't know what he had in Alvin Kamara, and he's seen as each week went by, wow, this kid's special. Now he had a full offseason. He knows what he has in Alvin Kamara. That Saints offense is going to revolve around Alvin Kamara. Passing, receiving, running. He does it all, and you can put him anywhere. He's a mismatch anywhere. So Alvin Kamara, 6th overall. Great pick. 7th, we're going with the homeboy, OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., every time he touches the ball, it can go the distance. I don't think there's any other player, maybe the pick before him, Alvin Kamara. Besides those 2, I don't think there's any other, maybe Tyreek Hill also. But I don't think there's any other, those 3 players, besides those 3 players, Tyreek, Odell, and Kamara, I don't think there's any other player in the game that when they touch the ball, it can go the distance every single time. And Odell, you give him a slant, it can go 80 yards. You throw it up to him, he can catch it with one hand. It don't matter. This kid, as soon as all this kid needs is the ball in his hands, and he's a threat to score a touchdown. So, and you can argue, the injury, we don't know. He looks fully healthy, just got his contract, he's ready to ball. He can win you your matchup like that because those slants that he takes 7 yards to the house, that catching a 60-yard run on deep ball, it's impossible to stop Odell. So 7th overall, again, that's probably a steal for the type of player that Odell is. But yeah, if you get him at 7th overall, be happy. 8th, we're going Leonard Fournette. He's leaner, more explosive. The Jags want to throw him the ball more. The Jags want to keep him on the field on 3rd downs more than they did last year. Obviously he's going to get the touchdowns. He's a threat for 10 touchdowns easily. But last year was kind of a down year. You cannot make a case for him because he didn't play on 3rd downs. He was, overweight. The ankle injuries hindered him. But now being more leaner, being more explosive, he's going to be on the field on 3rd downs, more catches, and it's just more explosive plays. You want a running back that's going to give you explosive plays here and there. Last year, Leonard Fournette really didn't give you the explosive plays. He was just more the grinder, the pounder, the run people over. But this year, with the catches included, yeah, Leonard Fournette should have a good year, huge year. 8th overall, Leonard Fournette. 9th overall, Kareem Hunt. Be cautious. First-year quarterback. Teams are going to stack the box until Patrick Mahomes can prove that he's the guy. That he can, throw the ball deep and hit his receivers in stride. So if Patrick Mahomes can't prove to do that, then teams are just going to continue to stack the box, and that's going to limit Kareem Hunt's rushing room and ability to make plays in space. Also, again, while I'm so against Kareem Hunt, I'm not really against him, but, at 9th overall, you could argue he should go earlier. The reason I'm not letting him go earlier or picking him earlier is because the Chiefs have so many weapons in the passing game. Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill, obviously Travis Kelce. So I think as the season, progresses, we're going to see this Chiefs team, favor throwing the ball more than they run the ball. That isn't a knock on Kareem Hunt because he can still catch the ball very well. In that Andy Reid offense, there's a lot of checkdowns to the running back. So again, Kareem Hunt should have an RB1 season, but to pick him 5th or 6th, nah. Wait till number 9 or 10, and then you pick Kareem Hunt. Number 10, we're going with DeAndre Hopkins. 10th overall, DeAndre Hopkins. Led the league last year with 13 reception touchdowns with bad quarterback play half the season. Now, obviously, Deshaun Watson's back. Will Fuller's back, fully healthy to take some attention off of him. So just, hopefully that we get more volume for DeAndre Hopkins because, Deshaun Watson loves DeAndre Hopkins. That is his number 1 receiver. So we're going to see, hopefully, with a full season of Deshaun Watson, we'll get more volume from DeAndre Hopkins. So maybe we'll see a little bit of regression in the touchdown department. I still see him having 9 or 10 touchdowns. But if we can get those receptions up to maybe 100, 105 receptions and 1,500 receiving yards, oh, man, DeAndre Hopkins, that's a steal at 10th overall. But again, can't argue with his role in that Texans offense. He catches everything as well. So DeAndre Hopkins, man, grab him at 10 if he's there. 11th, Melvin Gordon. Another 3-down back that receives a tremendous amount of volume. I think Melvin Gordon is valued so highly because of his volume alone. Last year, 342 touches. That was only ranked behind Le'Veon, Sean McCoy, Todd Gurley. So in terms of total touches, Melvin Gordon was 4th in the entire NFL with 342 total touches. That's a lot of volume, man. And the offensive coordinator for the Chargers, Ken Wisenhunt, said he wants to get Melvin Gordon more involved in the passing game. Last year, Melvin Gordon had 58 catches, which is not bad at all. But if we can get Melvin Gordon up to 70 catches with the volume that he already has, man, Melvin Gordon will have a huge year. In the last pick in the first round, 12th overall, we're going Julio Jones. Last year was a disappointment for Julio. Still finished as the 7th ranked wide receiver in PPR with 88 receptions, 1,444 receiving yards. But the problem was he only scored 3 touchdowns. That can't happen with Julio Jones. This year, I think he'll obviously double that touchdown number. I think we'll see at least six touchdowns for Julio. And you're always a great bet to get 1,400 receiving yards, 85 to 100 receptions. It's always I don't ever see Julio. I don't ever envision Julio having less than 85 catches or less than 400 receiving yards. It's just the touchdowns have been the problem. Hence why he fell all the way to 12th, last pick in the first round. But if we can get the 90 receptions, 1,500 receiving yards, and 7 or 8 touchdowns for Julio, you'll be sick and you'll be upset that you passed on him with your 5th or your 6th or your 7th pick. Julio at 12, big time steal. And then now, first pick of the second round, 13th overall. Remember, if you had the 12th pick, the last pick of the first round, you're going to have the first pick of the second round. That's what's happening right here. 13th overall, we're going with Devonta Freeman. Again, you get Julio, and then you get Devonta Freeman back-to-back. You can't argue with that. That's a great draft right away. Just right there, that's a great draft. So Devonta Freeman, last year, and also if you did pick Julio, if you picked a running back at 12th overall, you can go Michael Thomas right here. So you get running back receiver. But see how I'm doing that? I went receiver, now I'm going running back. But you got to get your elite running back, and this is probably the last elite running back you can get, Devonta Freeman. Last year, 1,182 rushing yards. Yes, Tevin Coleman is there, but last year, 14 games together, Tevin Coleman and Devonta Freeman played. Freeman out-touched Tevin Coleman on a per-game basis, 16.2 to 10.7. He out-carried Tevin Coleman in the red zone, 34 carries compared to Tevin Coleman's 23 carries in the red zone. And then out-targeted in the red zone, 8 targets for Devonta Freeman in the red zone compared to 4 targets in the red zone for Tevin Coleman. So a lot of people make a case, don't draft Devonta Freeman. Tevin Coleman is there. He has a huge role. He dampens Devonta Freeman's value. But I just read you the numbers, man. In 14 games together, those two played, Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman. I'll read the numbers again. Devonta Freeman out-carried Tevin Coleman 16.2 to 10.7. Out-carried him in the red zone 34 carries to 23 carries. And out-targeted him in the red zone 8 targets to 4 targets. So again, the numbers all favor Devonta Freeman. Yes, Tevin Coleman will be on the field and won't have a role. Probably be on the field a lot of times with Devonta Freeman. But when it comes down to it, push comes to shove, Devonta Freeman is the running back you want on that Falcons offense. 14th overall, we're going Michael Thomas. 149 targets last year, 104 catches, 1,245 receiving yards. Finished at the 6th ranked wide receiver in PPR. Look for Michael Thomas. Obviously over 1,000 yards receiving, 100 catches. Hopefully the touchdowns go up, though, because last year he only had 5 touchdowns compared to his rookie year when he had 9 touchdowns. But Drew Brees, threw as least as he's ever thrown in his career last year. It was more of a run-first team with Kamara and Ingram. And then I believe Drew Brees only completed 4.3% of his passes last year, which was his lowest of his entire career. So now we can figure, obviously, that's going to go up. Drew Brees is going to throw the ball a little bit more, especially with Mark Ingram being out. They're going to throw the ball more to Alvin Kamara, obviously, but I don't know if Michael Thomas will have 9 touchdowns, but he definitely won't have 5 touchdowns. I see Michael Thomas having, obviously, 100 catches, over 1,000 receiving yards. I'm looking at 7 touchdowns this year for Michael Thomas. 15th overall, we're going Saquon. I'm not a huge Saquon fan in fantasy. Obviously, I'm a Giants fan, but I don't like the offensive line for the Giants. I don't like it, so I'm not a fan of Saquon rushing. I think Saquon will make his money in PPR in terms of catching the ball. I think he could have a rookie year similar to Christian McCaffrey's rookie year last year. Christian McCaffrey had, 80 catches last year for a rookie. That's way more than a rookie running back should have when it comes to catches, but Saquon is a better receiver probably than Christian McCaffrey. So I just don't like that Giants offensive line. That's what it is. So I don't see Saquon Barkley having 1,000 yards rushing. No, I don't. That's why I'm not picking him in the first round. I see guys picking him 6th, 7th, 8th overall. Don't do it, man. He's not going to give you the rushing numbers. You need rushing numbers for a running back if you want to pick him in the first round. I see 800 rushing yards, maybe 400 receiving yards for Saquon Barkley this year. Touchdowns total, 8. 8 total touchdowns. So that's a great pick in the second round, just not a first round pick. 16th overall, we're going Keenan Allen. Remember, this is PPR. Last year, Keenan Allen had 102 receptions. He played a full season for the first time in 5 years, and he's showing the world what he could do. Keenan Allen's a true number one receiver. Definitely Phillip Rivers' number one target. Plus, he had almost 1,400 receiving yards. So it's not like he just catches the ball and that's it. He gets a lot of yards, too. He's quick, playmaker, great yard after catch ability. AFC West also lost 2 top cover corners in Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters. Plays in a high-octane offense with a great quarterback. Definitely see Keenan Allen having 100 receptions again, 1,400 receiving yards. And remember, they lost Hunter Henry, so there's going to be more red zone targets. I can see Keenan Allen getting 7 to 8 touchdowns. Hell of a player, especially in PPR. 17th, we're going Christian McCaffrey. 80 receptions last year for a rookie. It was 3rd among all running backs. Second half last season, weeks 9 through week 16, his yards per carry spiked up from 2.38 yards per carry to 4.67 yards per carry. They want to get him the ball more, so he should be great. He should remain great at catching the ball. He might even up that, maybe 85 to 90 catches. But obviously, the rushing yards are going to go up as well because they want to get him the ball more when it comes to between the tackles. And he ran great between the tackles at Stanford when he was in college. So if we can get Christian McCaffrey rushing yards up, obviously go along with the catching ability, we can see Christian McCaffrey finish as an RB1. But right now, I'm a little concerned with how he's going to be as a rusher. I know how he's going to be as a receiver, but that's why I have him falling all the way to 17th overall. 18th overall, A.J. Green. He had his worst season ever last year. Still had 78 catches and 1,078 receiving yards. That was his worst season ever. So he still had over 1,000 receiving yards and almost 80 catches. 6th 1,000-yard season in 7 years. So consistent, A.J. Green, but he's so underrated. Nobody gives him the respect that he deserves. 6 out of 7 years he has over 1,000 yards receiving. Last year was the 5th time in the last 6 years that he finished as a wide receiver 1 in points per game. He's always in line for one of the biggest target shares, in the game. Last year, though, this is why you can make a case that it was more Dalton. It was more Dalton than Green. Last year, Andy Dalton only completed last year, only 59.7% of the targets that were to AJ Green were deemed catchable by Pro Football Focus. Less than 60% of the targets to AJ Green were deemed catchable. Come on now, and you're going to blame it on AJ Green? But he's getting the target share. He's going to get the targets regardless. Last year, 28% target share for A.J. Green, which was second only behind DeAndre Hopkins. So A.J. Green is that is the passing offense in Cincinnati. Dalton's going to throw the ball to him regardless, and definitely going to have an upgraded year compared to last year. I think he's going to have probably 1,200 receiving yards, close to 85 receptions. Bounce back season coming for A.J. Green. 19th overall, Devonta Adams. 74 catches last season and 10 touchdowns. Playing half the season with backup scrub quarterbacks. Now he's Aaron Rodgers' number one target. Aaron Rodgers is obviously back. Over the last 2 seasons, Devonta Adams had 22 touchdowns. He's a touchdown scorer. He scores touchdowns. That's what Devonta Adams does. He still hasn't had a 1,000-yard season yet in his career. Devonta Adams has never had 1,000 yards receiving in a season. I think this year, being Aaron Rodgers' number one target, he's going to have 1,000 yards receiving. He's one of the best bets for double-digit touchdowns in the entire NFL. So we could see 10 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards receiving for Devonta Adams, and you're getting him at 19th overall. Huge steal. 20th overall, LaShawn McCoy, played in all 16 games last year for the first time since 2014. He had over 1,000 yards receiving, 59 receptions, finished as the 7th-ranked running back in PPR. His 59 receptions were the most since 2010. So, that Bills offense, especially now with a rookie quarterback in Josh Allen, going to dump the ball off to Shady McCoy. And he averaged 22 weekly touches last season. 22 weekly touches. You knew you could bank on him getting at least 22 touches a week, Shady McCoy. He has a mouth-watering role. Even if he might have lost a step, even if he has the injury concerns, you have to worry about Shady staying healthy. You can't ask for a more significant and solidified role than the role Shady McCoy has in that Bills backfield. He's trying to become the 5th running back over the age of 30 since 2010 to have 1,000 yards receiving. 1,000 yards rushing. So, he is 30. You got to remember that, but I don't think there's any doubt that Shady will get 1,000 yards rushing this season. I don't think there's any doubt at all. Plus the catches. I could see Shady getting back to 60 catches this year, maybe even more. So yeah, Shady McCoy, 20th overall. Not a bad pick at all. 21st overall, Dalvin Cook. Before he tore his ACL last year in week 4, in his debut, NFL debut, 137 yards from scrimmage in week 1 versus the Saints. Before he got injured, in week 4, he was 2nd in the league in rushing with 288 yards. And then before that, PFF had him as the most elusive running back in football. 3rd most broken tackles in football. So, the kid was doing special things before he tore his ACL. But they still have Latavius Murray in that backfield. I think Latavius Murray will have a role. I think Latavius Murray will steal some touchdowns from Dalvin Cook. I think Latavius Murray is going to come in when they're in the red zone goal line. Goal line. I think all the goal line work's going to go Latavius Murray. And Latavius Murray didn't play too bad last year in replacing Dalvin Cook. And also, John DeFilippo, who's now the offensive coordinator for the Vikings, was with Philly last year, and they use a lot of running backs. So again, Dalvin Cook should be the guy that starts the games, but don't count out Latavius Murray for getting a lot of carries and a lot of touches in that Vikings backfield. Still, I like Dalvin Cook at 21st overall. That's a good value. 22nd overall, we're going Joe Mixon. He's going to be the Bengals' bell cow back. Last season struggled a little bit. His rookie year, Bengals O-line was bad, but upgraded. Did get a little better this year. But over his last four games last year, last 4 games that Joe Mixon played, he had 51 carries, 256 rushing yards, and that was good enough for 5.5 yards per carry in his last 4 games. 5 yards per carry. So Joe Mixon was getting hot at the right time. He lost weight. Now he's more of a secure role. Plus he catches the ball just as well as Gio Bernard, who is the Bengals' pass-catching back. So I don't think there should be any doubt that eventually, based off his talent and his ability to catch the ball and stay on the field for all 3 downs, that Joe Mixon will be the full-time 3-down back, eventually phasing out Gio Bernard from his role with the Bengals backfield. So to get potentially a 3-down back at 22nd overall, can't ask for better value. 23rd overall, we're going Tyreek Hill. Most receptions by a Chief player last year since Tony Gonzalez in 2004. He caught 71.4% of his targets. His yards per catch rose from 9.7 the previous year to 15.8 last year. Chiefs led the NFL in passing yards with throws over 15 yards. That was with Alex Smith. Now you have Patrick Mahomes. Oh my goodness. They're just going to be throwing that ball deep, play after play after play, deep ball after deep ball after deep ball. And what does Tyreek Hill do best? Go deep. Tyreek Hill probably is the fastest receiver in football. Straight line speed. So Mahomes and Andy Reid are going to say, yo, Tyreek, go. I'm going to throw it to you. Imagine Mahomes going to do. Throw that thing deep. Oh, man, I see a lot of explosive plays coming from Tyreek Hill this season. And then last pick in the 2nd round, it's between which one you like better. Between Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs. Which Vikings receiver you like better? I really can't favor one more than the other because last year Thielen was the better receiver, but Diggs is the more explosive receiver. But Diggs, has the injury concerns. Adam Thielen is never injured. Who does Kirk Cousins trust more? That's what this pick comes down to. Who do you feel like Kirk Cousins will trust more in that Vikings offense? And whoever you decide, that's who you pick at 24th, whether it be Stephon Diggs or Adam Thielen. That's a tough one, so I'm going to let you guys decide on that one.